You can't choose who you fall in love with. This saying may be familiar to you, right? Because it is very popular. I'm here to warn you that's because, if you're not careful today, some ladies will ruin your life more quickly than a train can go. You'll thank me later when you avoid some serious heartbreak because I'm going to expose the kinds of women you should never fall in love with, no matter how alluring they may seem. Welcome to the channel. Now let's jump right in to number 1 on the list. The first kind of woman to avoid is the chronic drama queen. She's one of the most exhausting personalities to deal with in a relationship at first. She might seem exciting, though she's full of stories about the chaos in her life, wild fights with friends, dramatic work, saga, the constant issues that no one else understands. It might even seem endearing at first, like she's passionate, emotional, and needs someone to lean on. But the truth is she thrives on turmoil. Drama is her lifeblood, and you're her latest spectator. Believe me when I say the drama won't just stay outside your relationship, it's coming for you too. If she doesn't have enough chaos in her life, she'll start creating it with you. You'll suddenly become the villain in her latest episode. Maybe you didn't text back fast enough, or you didn't say the exact words that she wanted to hear. Before you know it, you're in the middle of a shouting match about something you didn't even realize was a problem. This will tire you more quickly than you may anticipate, and is a major indication of emotional instability. How do you recognize a chronic drama queen at a young age? The following are some red flags. 1. She's always fighting with someone. If she's always fighting with her best friend, her ex, her boss, or even her family, notice that the common element in all of her drama isn't other people, but rather herself. 2. She has a tendency to escalate minor issues. You neglected to call her when you said you would be ready for an emotional meltdown. She'll blow up minor inconveniences and turn them into major catastrophes. 3. She loves gossip and thrives on negativity, so pay close attention when she talks about other people. That's a warning sign that she thrives on negativity, and that negativity will seep into your relationship. The problem is that, over time, being with a chronic drama queen is toxic and drains your emotional energy. It will also affect your mental health and even your confidence. The best course of action is to leave her alone. You're not her therapist, fixer, or emotional punching bag. You're supposed to be her partner, and a real partner brings peace, not chaos. The manipulative nice girl seems to be flawless. She's kind and considerate. She says all the right things, supports you when you're feeling low, and encourages you when you're feeling up, but something doesn't feel quite right. At first, it's faint, but eventually, you begin to see a pattern. She's constantly trying to manipulate events to her advantage or guilt trip you. Congratulations! You've met the cunning, kind girl. What makes this type of girl so cunning is that she doesn't openly abuse you or yell at you. Instead, she subtly conveys it. Her manipulation is much more subtle. It's concealed in her gentle tone, her seemingly innocent words, and her carefully constructed image. While on the outside she's your ideal partner, on the inside she's manipulating you like a chessboard. Here are some warning signs of this dangerous archetype. She uses guilt as a weapon. Pay attention to statements like, "I guess I just care too much," or "I can't believe you'll do that after everything I've done for you." These statements aren't innocent. They are meant to make you feel bad and submit to her will. Second on the list, she's a master of backhanded compliments. She'll say something like, "You look great today. I was starting to think you didn't care about your appearance anymore." Trust me, that's not a compliment. It's a subtle dig meant to make you question yourself. She always pretends to be the victim. In the event of a disagreement, she will make you the antagonist. The third woman you should never date is the serial social climber. She's charmingly polished and an expert at making you feel like the most important person in the world, but the problem is that she is more interested in what you can do for her than in you. This type of woman may appear innocuous and aspirational at first. Isn't it normal to want a mate who pushes you to reach new heights? There is a difference between a woman who wants to build a relationship with you and one who only wants to ride your coattails to the top. The serial social climber isn't interested in love, respect, or a partnership. Instead, her goal is to use your resources, connections, status, etc. to improve her own position. When she's exhausted, she does everything she can, and guess what? She will proceed to the next level of her career. Now, this type of lady isn't always apparent at first. In fact, she is a master of disguise. I want you to be aware of these warning signs, okay? She's too preoccupied with appearances and status. All right, if she asks you about your work, your car, or the number of your followers right away, back off. Surface-level numbers are not the foundation of a true connection. Okay, 2. She's more interested in your network than your personality. Does she always ask you to introduce her to friends or coworkers, or does she get overly excited when you mention influential people in your circle? 3. Her expectations for her lifestyle don't match her work. She wants expensive gifts, fine dining, and luxurious vacations. But what is she bringing to the table if she expects you to support her ideal lifestyle without making any meaningful contributions? She is a serial climber, and her approach is straightforward but effective. She will flatter you, make you feel like a king, and subtly align herself with your goals and ambitions. You will feel as though you have found someone who is on your level and values the life you have created, but the catch is that she is not in it for the long run. The moment you experience a setback, lose your status, or fail to meet her increasing demands, she should be looking for the next opportunity, and believe me, it won't take her long to move on. The best protection against a serial social climber is knowledge. Alright, so here's what you need to do. See if she appreciates her company in a low-key setting without fine dining or luxurious activities. This will test her interest in simpler moments. Protect your resources early on. Until you are certain that her intentions are sincere, don't allow her to persuade you into making large purchases or giving up access to your network. Have the courage to walk away if you notice the signs. Don't make excuses for her behavior. Serial social cliques rarely change, and staying in a relationship will only hurt you in the long run. The bottom line is such a woman doesn't love you. She loves the lifestyle you can give her and the connections you can provide as well as the doors you can open. Be on the alert. 4. The perpetual victim. She's got a sob story for every occasion, and while it might get your heartstrings at first, there's something deeper going on there with this woman. Nothing in her life is ever her fault. Her exes were toxic, her boss is unfair, her friends are disloyal, and somehow the universe is always conspiring against her. The perpetual victim may not seem like a threat at first. After all, she's not yelling or lying or outwardly being manipulative. Instead, she's subtly pulling you into her endless cycle of problems and playing on your empathy. Take note. Her victim is a tool of control, so how do you spot this kind of woman early on? Her ex is always the bad guy. She's never had a breakup where she wasn't the one who was wronged. Every ex is a cheater, a liar, or a narcissist. Now, it's possible that she's just had a bad experience or two, but if every single ex is the worst person ever, that's a warning sign. 2. She never accepts responsibility for her actions. Everything in her life is someone else's fault, whether it's missing a deadline at work, a disagreement with a friend, or an argument with you. She's never at fault. There's always an excuse or someone to blame. Her entire life is a string of unpleasant events. It's not just relationships. She appears to be plagued by bad luck everywhere she goes, and although it's normal for people to experience difficulties, her problems seem to never end. When she needs your compassion or attention, they are exaggerated and oddly handy. Dealing with someone like this is particularly difficult because, guess what? They don't genuinely want to change since it suits them to be a victim. She will refuse even if you gently urge her to consider her part in the issues or take action to make things better. This 5th type of woman is the commitment phobe in disguise. One day she says, "I'm just not ready for the relationship right now," but she still expects you to act like her boyfriend. Meanwhile, she is invested in her victim narrative, and any attempt to change it will be met with deflection, denial, or even hostility. This type of woman is characterized by constant hot and cold behavior. This woman will have you chasing after her while she keeps one foot out the door if you're not careful. This woman is an expert at manipulating your emotions. She never totally commits but offers you just enough love and care to keep you interested. Because of this, you're constantly wondering where you stand and if you're good enough. It's difficult to tell if she's hiding a commitment phobia because she doesn't explicitly say, "I'm afraid of commitment," but rather, her behavior reveals the truth, so let me tell you what to look for. She gives you conflicting signals. For example, one day she's all over you, texting and calling all the time, making you feel important, and the next day she's distant, saying she's busy or needs space. She avoids defining the relationship. If you bring up the subject of commitment, she will sidestep the topic or give you an evasive response like, "Oh, let's see." She frequently enters into short-term partnerships. When you ask her about her past relationships, you'll probably hear about a series of brief affairs or situationships that never lasted. If you think you're dealing with a commitment phobe and a disguise, do this to call out her behavior. Be honest about what you're seeing and say something like, "I feel like you pull away whenever things start to get serious." She loves the chase and is really engaged when you're playing hard to get or when things are still casual, but she pulls away the moment you start getting serious. Can we talk about it? 2. Establish boundaries and don't allow her to control the relationship's pace. Be clear about what you want and what you can't live with. 3. Don't chase her. Doing so will only make her more controlling. Instead, you should step back and let her discover her true desires. Lastly, The overly controlling perfectionist? Have you heard of this woman before? This woman initially seems like she just cares deeply or has high standards, but over time her attention to detail becomes criticism, her care becomes control, and her standards become impossible to meet. She's the type who wants everything to go her way, and if it doesn't, you'll feel like you're the problem at first. You might think her controlling behavior is harmless or even flattering. She remembers the small details, organizes plans to perfection, and seems like she has it all together, but the thing is, it's not about partnership, it's about control. This woman has a deep need to dictate how everything unfolds in her life, including you. She may frame it as helping you be better, but in reality she's trying to mold you into her ideal version of a partner, and the cost is your individuality, your confidence, and eventually your happiness. Here's how to spot her. She micromanages everything you do. Number 1. Whether it's how you dress, how you load the dishwasher, or even how you order your food at the restaurant, she's always quick to correct you. In order to justify her constant meddling in your decisions, she often uses phrases like, "I just want what's best for you," or "I'm only doing this because I love you now." 3. She criticizes more than she compliments. Her feedback rarely feels supportive, instead being a litany of things you're doing wrong or how you could be better. When things don't go her way, she becomes anxious. If something doesn't work out, even if it's just a small change in your schedule or a small decision you make, she will become frustrated and angry. At first, this seems considerate, like she cares about you and wants you to succeed, but over time, her support becomes oppressive. You'll realize that nothing you do is good enough, and she will constantly push you to meet her impossible standards. The more you try, the more she demands, until you feel like you're losing yourself in the process. The overly controlling perfectionist doesn't see her behavior as a problem. She views it as a necessity. Everything is kept flawless by her domineering personality, and any opposition to her ways is viewed as a danger to her sense of order. She will fight back against your attempts to establish boundaries, saying that you don't value her efforts or realize how much she works for you, unless she is prepared to own up to her domineering tendencies and change them. Do me a favor and watch the video again. Take notes and make sure you're choosing a woman who is worth your time, energy, and love. That's it, women. You really must avoid dating if you want to be happy. If this video resonated with you, it's likely that you've experienced at least one of these types of women. Hey, please leave a comment below with your own tales about ladies who suit these qualities. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you only live once,